macros on this are not good. I think the ratios that he had here. Welcome back to the Anabolic Hub, where we make anabolic deliciousness. We're back inside my kitchen today, and we're going to be taking a look at Ben & Jerry's Netflix and Chilled ice cream. Kind of. We're going to do a comparison to the Iron Musket's protein anabolic ice cream that he did with a Netflix and Chilled flavored Ben & Jerry's. I've heard so many things from you guys about how awesome this recipe is. I watched his video. Ain't gonna lie, it looks super good. Can't wait to try it. I've never made it before. Obviously, I've never tasted it before. We're gonna put it together here today. We're gonna put it up against the original from Ben & Jerry's. We're gonna see how it scores on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm thinking it's gonna be pretty good, but let's put it to the test. So let's get things started here by having a look at the ingredients. Here we go. Water, salt, guar gum, swerve, granular, any brand of your peanut butter flavored whey protein powder, PB2 or this knockoff with the same macros powdered peanut butter, ice that is now promptly going back into the freezer, sugar-free maple syrup, cocoa powder, pretzels. So the first thing you want to do when you're making this recipe is to get your topping going, called the fudgy stuff. Now we want to make this first because it's going to have to sit in the freezer for about 1 hour before you can actually put it onto your ice cream. So definitely do this first. I have measured out here 20 grams of our peanut butter based whey protein powder. Next ingredient that we're going to add in is going to be 12 grams of our sugar-free syrup. Did a little subtraction, but we got 12 grams in. Next thing you want to put in your fudgy stuff mix is going to be 4 grams of stevia or erythritol, or same stuff, 0 calorie sweetener. 4 grams. We got 4 grams on the money. And the last ingredient for your topping here is going to be 3 grams of the cocoa powder. Brand new container that I just opened up and exploded everywhere, which was wonderful, but hey, no big deal. I think it's going to be worth it after this recipe. So let's put it in. 3 grams cocoa powder. 3 grams on the money. Okay, and then what you want to do is just mix all the ingredients together. Once you have your barbecue sauce type substance, you're done mixing. If for some reason you're mixing everything together, and depending on the protein powder that you're using, it can happen where it's a little bit dry, you can just add in a little bit more of your sugar-free maple syrup. Calories are going to be negligible, and you do want it to have this barbecue sauce type consistency. Iron Musket's description, not mine. All right, we're gonna put this on a plate and then get it in the freezer for 1 hour. And whatever you do, don't try it. This stuff is supposed to be delicious. I'm afraid to even lick the spoon once I put it on the dish, so avoid it at all cost. You don't want to have to make it again. There we have it on the dish. Into the freezer it goes. And while we're working on our topping, we're going to take care of the pretzels as well. 7 grams of these pretzels you're going to put into a small plastic bag and then bludgeon them, essentially. Until you're left with a pretzel powdery, chippy substance. Then put this off to the side. Before we head over to our blender, or in my case, a food processor, we have to get the base of the anabolic ice cream done. Shout out to Coach Greg Doucette for this original recipe. Iron Musket gave him a shout out too. This is the absolute biggest game changer the world of ice cream has ever seen, is anabolic ice cream. Oh my goodness. Okay, I digress there for a little bit. Let's get back to this recipe. We're going to be starting off here, already measured out. I have my 45 grams of my peanut butter whey protein here in the bowl. We're gonna add in the rest of our ingredients, starting with 3 grams of our salt. In. Next, we need 3 grams of the guar gum. 3 grams in. Next ingredient, I've already measured it out. We need 45 grams of our PB2 or PB2 knockoff powdered peanut butter. It was pretty funny in the Iron Musket's video where he did, like, he said 1,000 takes, I think it was, trying to say powdered peanut butter. Guy's hilarious. I know you know about his channel already, but if you're one of the rare ones that don't, you gotta go check him out. Guy's so funny. 45 grams into the mix. And the last part of the powdered mixture is going to be 16 grams of our stevia, erythritol, 0 calorie sweetener, 16 grams. 16 grams on the money. Our powdered mixture is done. Let's head on over to the food processor or blender, whichever. We're gonna put in the rest of the ingredients, which is basically ice and water, combined with our powdered mixture here. We're gonna get this thing going. Let's do it. It's been a quick minute since we've been back over here with the food processor, but nice to see you, my old friend. Now we're gonna start putting all of our ingredients together here to make the ice cream part of the recipe. Super excited to get this part going. So we're gonna start by putting in our powdered mixture. Now I know what you're thinking, we just got a sifter. We didn't sift anything together here, I know, but the Iron Musket, he didn't sift anything together, so I wanna make it just the way he did. So we're gonna pop this in here as is, as we dumped it in. Here it goes. Now it's just 2 more ingredients to go in here. We're gonna put in 115 grams of water. And the last one's going to be pre-measured 405 grams of our ice. Now it's just a matter of getting the lid on here, getting this thing blending, or in my case, food processing. Make sure you have a spatula or a spoon or something to scrape down the sides. You're gonna need that for sure. We're gonna put this on for 1 minute, checking it as we go. You know, I'm almost certain the Ninja Blender would do a better job with this than this food processor, but hey, we're dealing with what we got here. Hitting it again. And we are done blending this up, and as you can see, it's expanded quite a bit. Honestly, I thought it was gonna come up out and pop the lid off, but man, this is so much volume. I'm gonna throw this into a big container and then we're gonna put it in the freezer. I'm gonna clean everything up and then we're gonna add on our topping, and then it's over to the taste test table. Okay, so I have a ridiculous amount of anabolic ice cream in this glass Tupperware container over here. It is the biggest one that I could find that would be able to fit all of this ice cream in here. We have our little fudge stuff topping here that we're just supposed to cut up as we like, and then just throw it on top. So I guess that's what we're gonna do here, just kind of dice it. Look like that's what the Iron Musket did, so that's what we're gonna do. Now I see why he did it off camera. Don't use a butter knife. All right, and we're all diced up. I'm gonna scrape this off, put it on top of our ice cream. And next we'll sprinkle on the pretzels that we obliterated. And how about that? Looks beautiful, doesn't it? Let's get it over to the taste test table before it melts and we'll give it a try. Okay, so we're back at the taste test table. I have the Iron Musket's Anabolic Netflix and chilled recipe made and right here in front of me. I also have the Ben & Jerry's version of their Netflix and chilled. We're going to be doing a comparison of the two, and kind of excited to try this one, though I really am excited to try this one. Anyway, I've been thinking about which order to have them in, and I really don't have much time, or both are gonna melt and there's not gonna be anything to taste. So I think I'm gonna try the Ben & Jerry's version first, because that's the one that the Iron Musket tried first, so might as well try this one first myself. We'll take the top off of here. I've never had this flavor of Ben & Jerry's before. I have no idea what it tastes like, so it'll be a good comparison with this stuff once I have both. So let's get right to it. No further ado, no reason to digress. Let's go for a scoop. Looks like we got a little bit of everything in here. Let's give it a go. Hey, surprising surprise. 29 grams of sugar tastes good. Let's try another one. I want to make sure we want to be accurate, so make sure that it's actually good. Yep. Okay, so this stuff is awesome, but in 2/3 of a cup, there's 390 calories in this. There's only about 400 calories in all of this, which is amazing. The macros on this are not good. You're basically getting like 3, 4, 5 times as much here. We knew that was gonna be good, but let's see how this is here. So I'm gonna, again, try to get a little bit of everything in the first bite, and we'll give it a go. Now, Iron Musket said that he'll have this, he eats 4 times a day, he'll have this 3 times a day sometimes. So it's setting the bar pretty high that this is supposed to be pretty good, but let's find out. Here we go. Wow. Yeah, I can see eating this 3 or 4 times a day. This is really good. Definitely right about that fudge topping too. I'm glad I didn't try it because there would have been none left to put on this ice cream in the end. Man, this is just so much volume. You know, the anabolic ice cream, it's all about the volume, keeping you full. But this is just crazy. You see how big this container is? This thing's filled almost to the top. It's crazy. The flavoring is actually pretty close to this, I have to say. I don't notice much of a difference between the flavoring. The texture is obviously a little bit different because, as we all know, the texture of real ice cream is very different than the texture of our anabolic ice cream. This tends to be more fluffed up. Obviously the volume has expanded with our guar gum or xanthan gum if that's what you use. Consistency is a little bit different, but I gotta tell you, the flavoring is pretty close. Oh, I could see having this every day. Definitely a solid recipe. If you already like anabolic ice cream, you've had it before, you've had it plain or with other toppings, you're gonna love this. It's definitely as close as you're gonna get to having some Ben & Jerry's. This is just amazing. When you know you can have food like this, you don't even wanna bother. Once you start looking at the calories of what's in here compared to what's in here, you'd so much rather go with this. This is a no-brainer. The macros that I'll flash up here so you can see them. So much protein. The flavoring is spot on. Yeah, Iron Musket nailed it with this one. I can see why it's had like 170,000 views. One more bite, I'm gonna give it a rating on a scale of 1 to 10. Let's get a little bit of everything. I'll go with the whole pretzel piece just to be fair. Fudge piece, all right, here we go. Rating after this bite. Comparing it to the real thing, 8.7, without a doubt, 8.7. It's so filling. I've already had probably about 15 bites and there's still, as you can see, a ton of this left. I think all the measurements too were just right. Measuring out the right amount of ice, right amount of water. It all worked very well coming together. There's just enough flavor. If you did want it a little bit sweeter, he did mention in the video that you could add in some Walden Farms or another 0-calorie maple syrup will make it a little bit sweeter, but I think the ratios that he had here are absolutely perfect. Definitely a solid recipe. Like I said, 8.7 on a scale of 10. Without a doubt, something that if you haven't tried, you have to try it. You'd love it. If you already have an anabolic ice cream, you're looking for a different flavor to go with, this is the next one you should try. No doubt in my mind. All right, I'm gonna finish the rest of this off camera because it is that good. It's all gonna be gone. Not this. This is going back in the freezer. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this, but I'm definitely not gonna want it after I finish the anabolic version, that's for sure. I'm gonna get up out of here, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.